What it do, YouTube? Is Coffee tapping back in with some Buffalo Bills slash NFL slash all washed up quarterbacks trying to get their get back being petty news. But I guess I'm being a little petty with that shot there. We're talking about Mark Sanchez, formerly known as the Sanchez. We'll get to that in one moment. But it's been a rough week for the Bills, man. It was ugly, no excuses. Bills played bad, man. Josh Allen, really, the blame goes on his shoulders, and he accepted that, so it's a long week. When your team wins, you're happy to see all the news clippings and whatnot, but when they lose, it's rough, especially when you're one of the top teams in the NFL that people already love to hate on, the Bills and Josh Allen. They say the Super Bowl window's closing. Comment and let me know what you think about that. But with all this going on, I haven't been as tapped into the news. And then this story I saw.
I think they're trying for Steph. Steph and Micah is who they're trying for. Hey, there's no control over Stefon Diggs. Yeah. Dude's gonna do what he wants to do.
Coming over there, Steph.
He'll look in my face and say, F you. How he treats everybody.
So, I don't know if you guys have seen this story already or not. If you have, comment and let me know. But that's Maddy Glab, an NFL media personality affiliated with the Bills. And I'm not really familiar with her, real talk. I'm a diehard Bills fan. I've followed the Bills my whole life. And don't get me wrong, her face looks familiar. I'm sure I've seen her somewhere. But I was like, I don't really know who this is, And you see the hot mic picked her up saying when they're like, hey, they're going to get Steph. And I think she said Micah Hyde. And, when referencing Stefon Diggs, she basically made him sound like some prima donna prick arsehole, as it sounded like she said, oh, Steph, like it sounded like someone said, go get Steph. And she was like, he'll tell me F you, and Steph does what he wants or whatever, just more or less making it sound like Stefon Diggs is a pure prick. Now, she immediately, recanted, I guess. She apologized, but almost kind of like recanted what the mic picked up, as well as she tweeted, I want to apologize for what I said today. And then there's like a post that says, I want to take ownership for what I said today. I am very sorry for what I said and meant no ill will. I respect the hell out of Stefon Diggs, and he has been one of my favorite players to cover. He has great character and treats us media with lots of respect. He takes time out his day to talk to us, which he doesn't have to. For context, media was waiting for players to come out for a press conference when a reporter jokingly told me to go get Stefon Diggs. I said, I don't have control over him. Steph marches to the beat of his own drum, and I love that about him. He has a playful relationship with our video department, so that's why I said he probably wouldn't say yes to me grabbing him for an interview. I should have not said what I said, and I apologize for that. Steph is not in the wrong. I am. So what do you guys think about this? I mean, there's the old people talking behind people's back, but then, do something like, for real, jump in the comments. Some people may say, well, hey, when people don't think no one's listening, they may do you, in your book, if you say anything about someone negative, like, are you just a pure coward or someone entitled to fluck around and say, man, I'm not, you go get him. You know how he is or can be. Could that have just been a joke amongst them or what? I don't know. She's working. It was very unprofessional, especially around a mic. I mean, nowadays, especially anyone in the media or working for the Buffalo Bills or for the NFL or something like that, you always got to be thinking that someone could be listening or something could be recorded or something like that. I mean, hell, with regular people nowadays in technology, some people got every phone call being recorded. I don't know, just wildly unprofessional. But she seems to be pushing that she was more or less just playing around. Steph likes to joke around So I was telling the other guy, you go get him. He'll tell you, he's going to say F you to your face. Well, that's like kind of what she's pushing, but she does apologize. But Stefon Diggs, it seems to be flat out hurt. As Diggs responded with multiple tweets speaking on the situation, he said the audio shared was very hurtful and was insulting to my character and to how I was raised. I've always treated people how I want to be treated. I greet everyone with smiles and respect, from the people in our cafe to the people that keep our building clean and in order. So she Diggs flat out there is like not taking this as a joke or anything like that. Like, yo, I treat people right. I'm not some guy that walks around like I'm better than people. I treat the people in the restaurant and the janitors right. Like he ain't feeling it, it seems. Then he says the media or fans may confuse my competitiveness that they witness on the field as who I am as a person, but off the field, I never treat anyone how she described and have never said anything remotely close to that to her. So again, doesn't seem like Diggs is taking it as jokes as all, as that's kind of what she described, right? Oh, I'm sorry. We have a playing relationship. I was playing. Diggs sounding dead ass serious in these responses here. Then he said, I don't know why it was said, but this is an example of why people don't want to deal with the media. It's hard to fight the preconceived notions people have about you, regardless of ever having a personal experience with them. And then last, he said, we get you have a job and I respect it. But please remember, I'm a human just like you. And if I ever made you or anyone else feel like you can't approach me, I'll apologize. And then ended it with a heart there. So again, Stefon Diggs responding. It's never, take all this out of the equation that, this is a pro athlete and, the Bills, the NFL, all this. It's just never nice ever to hear anyone talking slick. Like when you hear something someone said about you, when they didn't think no one could hear or would be listening or whatever, and you hear it, it's never feels good. So I feel Diggs on that. There's a lot of people reacting to this. You see some people are saying, why are we talking about this? What kind of story is this? Diggs should just let this go. Then there's another girl who says, she has a family member who's affiliated with the team, and Diggs has always just been a great dude and, treated her family member with the utmost respect. But I don't know, I feel Diggs, like this is news. It got caught on a hot mic. I don't understand. I don't know, man. It's crazy with all this NFL-ish right now. The Bills, real talk. Like, as I stated, man, people really love to hate on the Bills. They love to hate on Josh Allen. I mean, I ain't mad. It is what it is. We're a good team, despite what we saw Josh do out there. I believe the window is still open. Let me know what you think, and let me know what you think about this story. But I want to slide over to this other stuff that I was talking about, Mark Sanchez. Now, I didn't even peep this, man. The Sanchez been out the league for a while. He was in the NFL. I don't want to say for a cup of coffee, but his career definitely didn't pan out like, people thought. And one of the things associated with Mark Sanchez that overshadows any accomplishment he ever had was the butt fumble, right? He looked like a bozo, and that flinch too, which was against my Bills. They did beat us in that game, but that flinch was some funny-ish. But you see, I didn't even peep this. He hopped on social network after that fumble and in our overtime loss against the Jets. And Josh, it was like, God damn, that fumble was ludicrous. It really was. I mean, the picks, like I spoke in another video, the first pick was damn near like a punt on 3rd and long. He bombs it down. It's intercepted like inside the 5, so it ends up being like a punt down in, the other team's close to the goal line. And then those other picks, and even after all that, then that fumble where he bobbles the snap, just takes off, runs forward, fumble. It reminded me last year in that Vikings game on the 1, where that game was insane. It was like Diggs and Jefferson just going back and forth, highlight reel type material catches. And after it's all said and done and everything, the Bills are set to win the game with the defense stopping the Vikings on the one. And then, that fumbled snap, right, where Josh Allen fumbles the ball in the end zone. It's like, dude, all you had to do was get the ball back to the line of scrimmage and damn near the game's over, and we ended up going on to lose in overtime. And that's another thing, too, I wanted to mention that's being discussed. Josh Allen winless in overtime, from this game to that Vikings game that I just mentioned, as the Bills ended up tying that game, losing in OT, this Jets game that just happened, the playoff game against the Texans, Deshaun Watson. Comment in, let me know what you guys thought of Deshaun too, with the Browns getting a big win out there, mainly, by the efforts of their defense, but nonetheless, Deshaun still played a pretty decent game. It just cannot, the playoff game, obviously 13 seconds, it's like, Josh has not won in overtime yet, and hopefully we don't end up back in overtime, but when we do, I hope, he can break that, get that up out of his system and get that overtime W, but like that's another big narrative being picked up. People are saying, oh, the NFL changed the overtime rules for Josh Allen and the Bills and they still can't win, but anyways, getting back to what I was speaking of, you see Sanchez hopped on real quick and said, Josh ran into his own guy, fumbled. Funny, right? Like he's trying to, I don't know, like some people may say, oh, he's just, he's been there before. He's trying to laugh with Josh. I swear, maybe I'm being petty and think he's being petty, that he was like, man, y'all wanted to laugh at me for the butt fumble. Look at this fumble, And never forget about the butt fumble too as well. Geno Smith, was followed in Mark Sanchez's footsteps. It was crazy, man. But I don't know. There you have it, guys. Sanchez taking a social network to roast Josh Allen. Maddy, Glab, Diggs responding to her with the hot mic situation. Bills with Josh Allen winless in overtime. Let's talk about it all in the comments. Like I said, man, it's a rough week when your team loses, for the fans, obviously, for the players. These guys are really going out there and putting it all on the line, as I always reference that with, some of the news stories and narratives that get picked up surrounding players, like all this stuff with Josh Allen and Diggs over the offseason and what we saw out there last year, everything that happened with the Bills. All the reactions and the fans of everyone talking, I'm always like, yo, guys, the way we get invested in this and get turned up and worked up, think about how these guys feel when they're the ones suiting up, going on the field and playing the game. Do y'all forget that? But it's been a long week. I've seen a couple Raiders fans see me rocking my hat, and they're like, oh, man, y'all are going down. Watch. Josh, it's going to be another bad week for him. And I'm thinking quite the opposite, that Josh Allen it's going to be a vengeance game. That's one thing with all this that I'm like, man, I know people love the ish on Josh and all that. We saw it really too on a media level with Skip Bayless and Richard Sherman. Like, goddamn, were they shitting on Josh? But, I think everyone can agree. Josh Allen, his athleticism, his arm, the plays we've seen him make, I'm pretty sure everyone knows Josh is a way better quarterback than what we saw out there, and that we've saw him struggle before, getting in his head. I don't know what it is, but we've seen far more the better Josh Allen than that side of Josh Allen, Obviously last year we did see him throw some more picks than we wanted to see, as that's being some discussed. What is it, 84 turnovers since he's been in the NFL or whatever. But my point is y'all are really focused on the lowlights, but don't forget about the Josh Allen highlights. And, I don't think Josh is going to go back out there and have a performance anything like week one. You know what I mean? I think he's going to shake it off, have a fire lit up under his ass and be motivated to go turn it around and get that W week 2. So let me know your predictions and thoughts on this matchup against the Raiders as well. Thanks for watching. Look forward to talking to all y'all in the comments. Subscribe is coffee. And I'm gone, y'all. Peace.